Hi dear fans, friends and subscribers, welcome to your Sunday edition of the Cricket Happening Show. Your host Ram is welcoming you with the news that whatever, as I said yesterday in my last Cricket Happening Show, for Australia to get out of jail is very difficult, and that's what precisely was the case today, with Australia losing the match to Pakistan by a huge margin of 221 runs. And now Pakistan have taken a 1-0 lead in the test series, and as I said, with the conditions which was prevalent over there, it was very difficult, and as expected, it was the spinners who ruled the roost, especially with Zulfiqar Babbar returning figures, his maiden 5-wicket haul in test cricket. So as I said, for Australia, it was a task which was pretty impossible, but even though they had some resistance from Stephen Smith and Mitchell Johnson, but it was not really enough. And Australia, as I said, lost this first test match against to Pakistan at Dubai by a huge margin, by 221 runs, and especially considering the fact that there is no Saeed Ajmal, there was no Junaid Khan, I thought Pakistan have to pat themselves on their back for putting such a sterling performance against the Australians here in Dubai. Well, and also there's one more match which is definitely heading towards a result, and as I said, the pitch was not behaving well. There were some awkward bounce in the pitch, and the only difference being it was a surprise that spinners were not the ones who actually had this Bangladesh innings wound up for 254, thus conceding a very small lead of only 14 runs. So Zimbabwe, I think, done a great job here in actually bowling out Bangladesh for just 254 runs. So as I said, the only difference being one was probably thinking that spinners would be the ones who would be doing all the damage, but let me tell you, Panyangara, as you know, he was disciplined by his Zimbabwean coach Stephen Mongongo, and he was kept out of the tri-series which was played in Zimbabwe when Australia and South Africa were there. But definitely, I would say Tinashe Panyangara has come up in a very strong manner here, and he has taken a 5-wicket haul to actually have the Zimbabweans bowled out for 254. And now we really have a match on hands here in Mirpur. This is just the second day, 3 more days to go, and I think this match is also definitely heading for a result. And who says, once again, I'm sounding it out to you. Yes, it was. I was told that even in Dubai the crowds were not much. Well, I can understand that, but let me tell you, Test cricket is not dying. Test cricket is producing results all the time. I've always been saying in my Cricket Happening Show, this classic version of the game, that is the test match or test cricket, will never ever die. Well, and the other thing is that there's one more match which is coming up. That would be tomorrow on 27th. That would be between South Africa and New Zealand, but it is a lost cause as far as New Zealand are concerned. The only thing that New Zealand can do is to save their face, because South Africa have already won the series, and this match is going to be taking place at Shedden Park in Hamilton. And well, New Zealand, would they be able to save face when they meet South Africa in the final one-day international, which is going to be played at Hamilton today? Well, but let me get off to that win by Pakistan against Australia. As I said, Australia had a Herculean task of scoring 379 runs with 6 wickets in hand. It all started in the morning. The morning session was, I thought it was negotiated pretty well by Rogers and Stephen Smith, by really respecting the bowlers and not attempting anything silly. But well, Imran Khan came in and produced an in-swinger to Chris Rogers, who actually was really defeated by the delivery from Imran Khan, which went through the bat and pad gap to knock the stumps of a very resilient Chris Rogers for 43 with 1 boundary. So that made it 92 for 5. In walked in Mitchell Marsh to join Stephen Smith, who was at the other end. And well, Mitchell Marsh, let me tell you, he's really learning. There's a lot of things that you have to learn. The first innings too, he succumbed to the spinners, to the spin, and once again it was his forward prod against Zulfiqar Babbar, which resulted in Azhar Ali at silly point snapping up the catch. And Mitchell Marsh has said it is early days for Mitchell Marsh. He definitely would come back stronger, but right now he's on a learning curve, and he would definitely learn, and especially his father Jeff Marsh, who was a very good had a good opening combination with David Boone in extra years, would definitely, I'm sure, would be inculcating some goodness in the sense, some goodness in batting to Mitchell Marsh and telling him where he went wrong. So Mitchell Marsh was a victim of the bowling of Zulfiqar Babbar for 3, which made the score 101 for 6. Brad Haddin could not contribute anything to the scoreboard as he was gone, clean bowled by Zulfiqar Babbar. Again, a bat and pad gap actually getting the better of Brad Haddin. He was gone for naught, and suddenly once again Pakistan were on the ascendant with Haddin gone and the score reading 105 for 7. Stephen Smith was there at the other end, and Stephen Smith, who was waiting for someone to give him good company, it finally came in the form of Mitchell Johnson. Mitchell Johnson initially bided his time, but once Mitchell Johnson came, Mitchell Johnson decided that he is not going to be waiting over there, and he is going to really go for the ball, in the sense he is going to pace some attacking strokes, and definitely he did that to both Zulfiqar Babbar and Yasir Shah, and the partnership slowly started growing, adding 65 runs for the 8th wicket. But then finally Stephen Smith, after putting up a dual display of 55 runs, occupying 175 balls, now it was the time for Yasir Shah to strike, the right arm leggy, who took his wicket by getting him caught by Asad Shafiq for 55. So he was gone, and once Smith was gone, absolutely no hope for Australia. 170 for 8, and then Mitchell Johnson was still there along with Peter Siddle. Mitchell Johnson and Peter Siddle once again did something, in the sense they added some runs of note here by adding 43 runs before Yasir Shah once again came into the equation. He fooled Mitchell Johnson, who Mitchell Johnson was committed to actually spanking Yasir Shah, but by the time he realized it was all over, he had missed the ball, and Sarfraz Ahmed, the wicketkeeper, had whipped off the bails. It went for a review, and the review came in favor of the bowler Yasir Shah, and Mitchell Johnson was not happy with the decision, but he had to go because it was the red light that had waved off Mitchell Johnson to go. So Mitchell Johnson gone, stopped Sarfraz Ahmed, bowled Yasir Shah for 61 with 6 fours and 1 6, which made the score 213 for 9. And then it was all over when Zulfiqar Babbar picked up his maiden 5-wicket haul in Test cricket, as he had Peter Siddle caught, and Peter Siddle was also a bit bemused when this decision was given, but he had to go as the umpire raised the finger. Peter Siddle gone, caught Azhar Ali, bowled Zulfiqar Babbar for 15 with 1 4, and it was all over for the Australia, with losing this match by a huge margin of 221 runs, and Steve O'Keefe was not out on naught, and 216 all out. So Australia, as I said, could not offer much resistance. From 59 for 4, today they were all out for 216, and Pakistan taking 1-0 lead in the 2-match test series, and now they march ahead to Abu Dhabi for the 2nd test match. And I'm also told that if Pakistan can't lose this series for sure. Well, the best that Australia can do is try to level the series. It is going to be played in Abu Dhabi. One record is there, that for the past 20 years Pakistan have never beaten Australia in a test series. Well, if at all the match either ends in a draw, or Pakistan win, or Pakistan even does not win, doesn't matter. It will be Pakistan would have actually won a test series against against Australia after a span of 20 years. So that is something for the records there. As far as the bowling was concerned, Imran Khan was the one who actually provided the breakthrough with a beautiful in-swinger to Chris Rogers to disturb his stumps. In fact, he bent his middle stump by bowling well. 7 overs, 2 maidens, 22 runs and 1 wicket for Imran Khan. Rahat Ali once again showing some reverse swing exhibition by bowling 13 overs 4 maidens, none for 36. Mohammad Hafiz 15 overs 4 maidens, none for 29. But the man of the show was none other than Zulfiqar Babbar, who, as I said, got his maiden 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. 31.1 overs, 7 maidens, 74 runs and 5 very good wickets for Zulfiqar Babbar. Yasir Shah, the right arm leggy on his Test debut, did a wonderful job, almost came to getting his maiden 5-wicket haul too, by finishing with 25 overs, 6 maidens, 50 runs and 4 wickets. So that would really tell you the story that 9 wickets of Australians fell to the spinners. Well, the player of the match, well, nobody can even question it. It was none other than the ebullient Yunus Khan. Well, so that is over as far as the first Test match is concerned between Australia and Pakistan, and now we are heading towards Bangladesh, and we are talking about a game which is also definitely heading towards a result, no doubt about it, especially after what happened today. As I said, the pitch was something which was, as I said, there was an awkward bounce in the pitch. So basically it would have helped both the pacers and the spinners, especially the spinners, because with the bounce coupled with that there was spin in the wicket, there was bounce, there was turn, everything was available. But the only surprise being that it was not the spinners who dominated, but it was Panyangara coming back into the Zimbabwean team after that expulsion due to disciplinary reasons, where he was actually watching a Mitchell Johnson video bowl out the Englishman in the Ashes series, where Stephen Mungongo came heavily on him, and but today he really showed that what Zimbabwe were missing by bowling 23 overs 5 maidens, 59 runs and 5 wickets. He really exploited the awkward bounce that was in the pitch by bouncing out the Zimbabwean batsman, for the Bangladeshi batsman. For Bangladesh, well, it started off. They lost Shamsul Rahman. Panyangara was the one who provided them a breakthrough like yesterday in the morning when he had him caught by Chigumbra for 8. That was the second wicket to go. The third wicket to go was Mominul Haq. Now then there was a good partnership that ensured a partnership which added 63 runs, and it was between Mahmudullah, who came ahead of Shakib Al Hasan today, and both of them were putting up a very good partnership, with Mominul Haq also playing some attractive strokes, and Mahmudullah too, as you know, as he has been his form has been a bit dry, but of late he's slowly trying to get up and really prove himself as an all-rounder. And Mahmudullah definitely, I would say, justified his promotion as a number 4 batsman ahead of Shakib Al Hasan and Mushfiqur Rahim. And he definitely played, I thought, some very good strokes. In fact, he drove well, he cut well, and he contributed 63. But this partnership had taken the score on to 92, and that was the time there was a misunderstanding. There were 3 runouts today in this Bangladeshi innings that resulted in Sikandar Raza throwing off the stumps of Mominul Haq, who was gone for 53 with 5 fours, which made it 92 for 3. Shakib Al Hasan walked in, and once more there was another run out, and what a brilliant piece of fielding by Tendai Chatara when there was no run in that. Mushfiqur Rahim, probably Mahmudullah was the one who was the guilty there, and Shakib Al Hasan, the most experienced player in the Bangladeshi Test team, was run out on his comeback match here, as he actually thought there was a run. He went for the run, there was no response from Mahmudullah, and Chatara, what he did, he actually back-flicked the ball with his fingers onto the stumps, and it went and hit the stumps, and Shakib Al Hasan was caught off ground, and he had to walk back to the pavilion, run out for 5. So that made the score 114 for 4, and in walked in the Bangladeshi, ever reliable Bangladeshi player, Mushfiqur Rahim, the captain of Bangladesh, and he started slowly forging a partnership along with Mahmudullah when the score slowly started moving on, and the score, in fact, after that it was Shuvgat Ahum who had come in, and no, in fact, once Shakib Al Hasan was gone, as I said, the partnership, one more partnership started, which added 64 runs between Shakib Al Hasan, it was Mushfiqur Rahim and Mahmudullah. Mahmudullah was still there, but then it was Sikandar Raza who had Mahmudullah LBW to break that stubborn partnership, as he was gone for 63 with 7 fours and 2 sixes. Mushfiqur Rahim was there at the other end, and that was the time the score read 178 for 5. Shuvgata Hum, who came in, and he was the test debutant's Kamungozi, Tafadzwa Kamungozi, the right-arm leg spinner, who got his maiden wicket here, maiden international wicket, when he actually picked up the wicket of Shuvgata Hum for 14 with 2 boundaries, which made it 209 for 6. From 209 for 6, it was the new ball which really did the trick for Zimbabwe, where Tinashe Panyangara started it all by getting a most important wicket when he picked up the wicket of the Bangladeshi captain, caught by Sean Irvine of the bowling of Panyangara for a well-made 64 with 9 fours and 1 6. From 226 for 7, it was Panyangara all the way, as Panyangara went on cleaning up the tail and saw to it that Bangladesh won't be taking a big lead, and they were all out for 254. As what Panyangara did is, first he dislodged Tajul Islam, clean bowl for 19 with 3 boundaries. Shahadat Hussain was run out for naught, and finally he went on to hit the stumps of Al Amin Hussain to clean up the Bangladeshi tail, and Zubair Hussain, the debutant, was not out on 7 with 1 boundary. 254 all out Bangladesh, thus Bangladesh getting just a 14-run lead over Zimbabwe in the first innings. Tinashe Panyangara, as I said, he really bowled well. I thought Tinashe Panyangara, this was his second 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. Splendid bowling analysis. In fact, he came hard, he bowled with lots of pace. He really used the bouncer to good effect, and that was there for all to see here at the Mirpur cricket ground. Tinashe Panyangara returning wonderful bowling analysis of 23 overs, 5 maidens, 59 runs and 5 wickets. Tendai Chatana wicketless, but look at his bowling. I mean, he bowled as if it was a one-day international, because he bowled 22 overs, 11 maidens, 27 runs and not a wicket. But I thought he bowled pretty well, kept the Zimbabwean batsman quiet. Chigumbura also did the same, 14 overs, 6 maidens, none for 34. The off spinners, I thought John Nimbu couldn't make much of an impression, 15 overs, 1 maiden, none for 65. Kamungozi getting his debutant wicket, getting his first wicket in Test cricket, 21 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 51. Sikandar Raza also chipping in with a wicket, 1 for 12, and 14-run lead. It was Zimbabwe left to face just 2 overs before close of play on the second day, and Zimbabwe were 5 for no loss, with all the 5 runs going to Vusi Sabanda, with 1 boundary being ahead. Chakabwa was yet to score, yet to face a ball, and as I said, Zimbabwe have done a great job today. As I yesterday itself I said, even though Zimbabwe were all out for 240, this pitch was not easy to bat on, but the only surprise being the spinners were not the ones who were doing all the damage. It was Tinashe Panyangara with his 5 wickets, with his pace bowling, and not only that, there were also 3 run-outs in this Bangladeshi innings. And Shahadat Hussain 1 over for 5 runs, and Shakib Al Hasan bowling 1 over, which was a maiden. But let me tell you one thing that Bangladesh have to guard now is that they can't allow Zimbabwe to go on to a big score. The reason being, Bangladesh are the ones who would be caught on this last day wicket. Already there is signs of bounce, awkward bounce, there's signs of turn. As I said, everything is happening, and as the days go by, it's only going to become worse. And I think Bangladesh are the ones who will be batting last on this pitch, and I think it could become a minefield when Bangladesh come into batting in Zimbabwe. So I think the onus will be on Bangladesh to restrict Zimbabwe to a low score. Otherwise, I think Zimbabwe would be the ones who could prove pretty worrisome for Bangladesh in this first test. So that is as far as the day 2 report is concerned here of the first test match between Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. It's well poised, and now last but not the least, as I said, just going to touch briefly on this, that New Zealand have to save face against South Africa when the third and final one-day international takes place. As I said, South Africa have already won the series, and for New Zealand, it is all a matter of saving face. If at all they could get at least 1 win under the belt. As far as one thing that I would like to say here, that I'm told that Hashim Amla is just 5 runs away from being the highest leading run scorer in one-day internationals in this year 2014. Well, if he gets 5 more runs, he would be going past India's Virat Kohli and Kumar Sangakkara of Sri Lanka. So that's the only thing. So these are the. So with this, I'm going to end my cricket broadcast for this on a Sunday on this Cricket Happening show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for your continued company on this cricket show with me. I'll meet you all tomorrow. Until then, it's a big goodbye from your host Ram. Thank you.